If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing.
Just go for it. Yeah.
Hold on to your seats, folks, because today we've got one of the juiciest, most unexpected stories to hit the headlines. A political showdown that spills right into the world of daytime TV drama. Yes, you guessed it. We're talking about none other than Senator John Fetterman. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. What's the deal? Well, it's a lawsuit. Yep, you heard me correctly. John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, is suing the View co-host Sunny Hostin and the show's producers. And no, this isn't some minor spat. It's a full-on legal battle, and it's making waves both in the political world and the realm of talk shows. So why should you care? Why does this matter beyond just a celebrity clash? Stick with me, because we're about to break this down layer by layer.
That about the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking about criminal justice, and we are now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize that.
Let's set the stage. Fetterman, known for his bold and sometimes controversial stance on issues, is no stranger to stirring things up. But this is a whole new level. Recently, the senator appeared on The View, a show that's as famous for its heated debates as it is for its celebrity gossip. It's a platform that touches millions of viewers every day, where anything, politics, pop culture, the kitchen sink, can be dissected in front of a live audience. But here's where things took a sharp turn. During his appearance, things got heated when Sunny Hostin, always one to speak her mind, made a series of comments that really hit a nerve with Fetterman. While the details of what was said are still under wraps, likely due to the ongoing legal proceedings, what we know is that Fetterman found Hostin's remarks damaging to his reputation. So he's now taking legal action, claiming defamation, and accusing the View producers of letting the comments air without intervention.
If you they had a placebo group and they had a vaccine group because they wanted for military readiness to see if the flu shot was prophylactic against coronavirus. What they found is actually the people who got the flu shot were 36% more likely to get coronavirus. And that's not a lone study. We found 6 other major studies that say the same thing. If you get the flu shot, you're more likely to get coronavirus. Look, all you have to do, Alan, and this is what Cochrane said, is look what's happened to longevity in the elderly since we started mandating the flu shot to elderly people. Those are the people who their life expectancy has dramatically gone down as the flu shot proliferated. And if you see, the people who died during the COVID crisis.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why should we care about a politician suing a talk show host? Well, buckle up, because this case raises big questions about media accountability, the limits of free speech, and the power that platforms like The View have in shaping public opinion. Think about it. In today's world, where every tweet, every comment, every live broadcast can go viral in an instant, how much responsibility do media outlets have when it comes to protecting someone's reputation? It's a delicate balance between the freedom of speech and the consequences that come with it. Fetterman isn't just defending himself, he's standing up for the broader issue of media responsibility and the potential damage caused by careless words.
It's his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Oh, well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
Joe Rogan even weighed in on the situation, saying that we live in an era where every word is scrutinized, and responsible journalism is more crucial than ever. A show like The View, with millions of viewers tuning in daily, wields incredible influence. What's said on air isn't just gossip, it shapes how the public perceives people and events.
Are you on The View?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies infested hen house.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. Sunny Hostin, who's no stranger to stirring the pot with her outspoken opinions, might have crossed a line this time. Is it just another moment of controversy on a show that thrives on it? Or is Fetterman's lawsuit highlighting a much larger issue with how media outlets treat their power? This lawsuit is bigger than just one senator and one host. It's about the ethical line that media outlets walk every time they broadcast potentially damaging statements. It's about the responsibility they have when they put something out into the world that could harm someone's livelihood or reputation. We're also looking at a much broader conversation. How far are public figures willing to go to protect their names? How much power do media platforms have in shaping the narratives around them? And at what point do words on air cross the line into defamation?
In a new Netflix documentary series about New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he said he's heartbroken about friends and family cutting him off for his controversial political views and conspiracy theories. And a lot of Americans can relate to this, especially after this last election. So, do you think it happens everywhere?
What I recall about him is when he was asked about the COVID-19 pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, when people had lost loved ones, when people's family members were missing from their Thanksgiving table, like my table, he said, "I'm immunized." And as it turns out, he was not. He had done his own research. He has his Google MD like I do. And I think he said he was allergic to something in the vaccine, but he had COVID and he was in a huddle with his teammates. Yeah. And I think people felt like, wow, you don't care. You're not your brother's keeper.
This could really, this could really turn me against
a morality.
Are you telling me that?
At the heart of this case is a familiar tension: free speech versus defamation. While we all value open, unfiltered discussions, whether in politics, media, or social media, it's crucial to remember that we need to balance that with truth and respect for personal reputations. There's a fine line, and it doesn't always stay clear. So, where do you stand? Was The View just doing what it does best, stirring the pot for ratings? Or did they go too far, crossing a line that now has serious legal repercussions? Is Fetterman right to sue? Or is this just another case of a politician overreacting to a few harsh words? This lawsuit is about more than just one legal battle. It's a conversation about media ethics, defamation law, and the responsibility of platforms with massive influence. And Fetterman's decision to take on a giant like The View is a bold move. Some might call it brave, others might say it's necessary to hold media outlets accountable.
In a million years, I would not take the flu shot. And I'll tell you why, because this is what Cochrane and BMJ have found. People who take the flu shot are protected against that strain of flu. They're 4.4 times more likely to get a non-flu infection. And you might find, and a lot of people do, that they get the flu shot and then they get sick. They're usually not getting the flu. They're getting something that is indistinguishable from the flu, because the flu shot gives you something called pathogenic priming. It injures your immune system so that you're more likely to get a non-flu viral upper respiratory infection. In fact, The Pentagon published a story, and you can cite this, it's by Wolfe, W-O-L-F-E, in January of this year, in which they said that the flu shot not only primes you for flu, but it primes you for coronavirus.
The legal community is buzzing about what this case could mean for the future of media practices and defamation suits in the digital age. As this unfolds, we'll have to ask, what does this mean for the way we discuss public figures in the future? Will more politicians and celebrities start suing over hurtful comments made in the media? One thing's for sure, this is far from over, and we'll be right here, following every twist and turn of this drama. Whether you're into politics, media, or just love a good scandal, this case is setting the stage for a much bigger conversation about how we handle the power of words in the modern age. So, what do you think? Are you Team Fetterman, or do you think The View was just doing its thing, keeping the drama alive for ratings? Let me know in the comments below, because trust me, this ride is just getting started. We'll keep you posted with all the updates as they come. Catch you next time.